Rahim. Assalamu alaikum, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. A very warm welcome and good afternoon. We start with the roundup of this week's activities. Firstly, the Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Senator Mohammad Ishaq Dar is in Brussels as we speak. He is on an official visit from 19 to 21st November. The EU High Representative and Vice President for Foreign Affairs and Security Policy, Kaya Kalas, had invited the DPM Foreign Minister to co-chair the seventh session of Pakistan-EU Strategic Dialogue. This dialogue is the highest level of the institutionalized interaction between the two sides, which reviews cooperation between Pakistan and EU in all sectors under the Strategic Engagement Plan 2019. During the visit, the DPM Foreign Minister also participated in the fourth EU Indo-Pacific Ministerial Forum. On the sidelines of these events, the Deputy Prime Minister, Foreign Minister has been holding a number of bilateral meetings and engagements with the senior EU officials, including the President of the EU Council, Antonio Costa, the EU Commissioner for International Affairs and Migration, Magnus Brunner, EU Commissioner for International Partnerships, Joseph Scala, and key members of the European Parliament. The DPMFM also visited the NATO headquarters. He held meeting with the NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte. During the meeting, both sides exchanged views on areas of mutual interest, including peace and security, terrorism, as well as regional and global developments. The DPM-FM held a bilateral meeting with the Foreign Minister of Hungary, after which both countries signed the renewal of the MOU on cooperation within the framework of Stipendium Hungaricum Program 2026 to 28. This program will offer 400 scholarships to Pakistani students for pursuing higher education in Hungary in the next 2 years. The DPM-FM also held a bilateral meeting with the Foreign Minister of Denmark, Lars Løkke Rasmussen, and Foreign Minister and European Affairs Minister of Slovenia, Tanja Fajon. During the meetings with the FM Foreign Minister of Slovenia, both sides agreed to sign for establishment of a framework of bilateral political consultations between Pakistan and Slovenia. The DPM-FM has also held important meetings with the foreign ministers of Cyprus, the Netherlands, and Germany. During the meeting with the Dutch and German counterparts, the entire spectrum of bilateral relations came under discussion. Our sides also exchanged views on latest global and regional development. The DPM Foreign Minister's visit to Brussels marks a significant milestone in Pakistan-EU relations. Pakistan remains committed to developing a comprehensive and mutually beneficial partnership with the European Union. The visit is ongoing, and just now the Foreign Minister, Deputy Prime Minister, Foreign Minister has held meetings with the foreign ministers of Sri Lanka and the Philippines. We'll update you with these developments as we are aware of those. Prior to the visit to Brussels, the DPM Foreign Minister undertook a visit to Moscow. This was in connection with the SCO Council of the Heads of Government, where the Deputy Prime Minister, Foreign Minister was leading the Pakistani delegation, held from 17th to the CHG was held from 17th to 18th November 2025. The DPM-FM delivered Pakistan's national statements in the two sessions of the Council of Heads of Government, where he reaffirmed Pakistan's commitment to Shanghai spirit. He outlined Pakistan's priorities, which comprise enhanced cooperation and connectivity, energy, transport linkages, logistics, and infrastructure development. He emphasized the need for greater economic integration through trade, investment, and digital advancement. He encouraged SCO to take steps towards promoting the use of national currencies for mutual settlements and called for the establishment of an SCO development bank, an SCO development fund, and an investment fund. He also recommended leveraging potential of the SCO Interbank Consortium to finance development projects in SCO countries. Furthermore, he highlighted the importance of building human capital and empowering youth by strengthening academic linkages and transforming SCO universities network into a consortium for applied knowledge. On regional politics, the Deputy Prime Minister, Foreign Minister underscored the need to initiate a comprehensive dialogue to address the full spectrum of regional issues. He stressed that stability in Afghanistan remained imperative for peace and stability across the region. The Moscow SCOCHE considered and approved around a dozen decisions, documents, and statements. Upon the conclusion of the meetings, all SCO leaders adopted a joint communique outlining the strategic direction of SCO future work in economic cooperation. The DPM-FM represented Pakistan at a joint call by the heads of governments of SCO member states on President Vladimir Putin of the Russian Federation. He also engaged with the Chinese Premier Li Qiang and with the Russian Prime Minister Mikhail Mishustin on the sidelines of the SCOSCE. He held formal meetings with Deputy Prime Minister of Russia, Alexei Overchuk, and the Foreign Minister, Sergei Lavrov. Both sides, this was in the bilateral context, and as well as discussions focused on regional and global issues in an extensive format. On the other bilateral meetings of the Deputy Foreign Minister and Prime Minister in Moscow included Prime Minister and Foreign Minister of Qatar, Prime Minister of Uzbekistan, Prime Minister of Tajikistan, and the Chairman of the Cabinet of Ministers and Head of the Presidential Administration of the Kyrgyz Republic. The CHE is the second highest forum for the SCO, focusing primarily on cooperation on member states in the socio-economic, trade, and financial sectors. You would recall that last year the SCO's Council of Heads of Government was chaired by Pakistan and hosted in Islamabad in October. Ladies and gentlemen, the Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister also held two important telephone conversations this week with the Foreign Minister of Egypt, Dr. Badr Ahmad Mohammed Abdul Ateh. The two leaders discussed regional developments, including the Middle East peace process for Gaza, emphasizing the importance of continued high-level engagement. The Egyptian Foreign Minister expressed his desire to visit Pakistan at an early week, which we welcome. And he also conveyed his condolences over the loss of precious life in the recent terrorist attacks in Pakistan. The Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister also spoke with the Foreign Minister of Oman, Sayyid Badr bin Hamad bin Mohammed Al Busaidi. The two sides agreed to reschedule the 8th Joint Ministerial Commission meeting at the earliest mutual convenient date and discuss the forthcoming high-level bilateral engagements. The DPM-FM conveyed his warm felicitations ahead of the National Day of Oman and committed to pursue the enduring Pakistan-Oman fraternal ties. This week, we held three important bilateral political consultations in Islamabad. Firstly, with Iran. The 13th round of Pakistan-Iran BPC was held on the 17th of November. Foreign Secretary Ambassador Amna Baloch and Deputy Minister for Political Affairs Mr. Majid Takht Ravanchi led the respective delegations. Ahead of the BPC, Deputy Prime Minister Ravanchi paid a courtesy call on Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister. The two leaders discussed preparations for the BPC, key regional and multilateral developments, along with ways to further strengthen Pak-Iran bilateral relations. During the BPC itself, consultations focused on enhancing brotherly ties between the two countries. They reviewed the status of implementation of decisions of previous BPCs and agreed to enhance and diversify bilateral trade and expand cooperation in energy, transport, connectivity, education, and people to people exchanges. There was also an exchange of views on important regional and global developments. Both sides underscored the significance of regular convening of various institutional mechanisms, including the Joint Economic Commission, the Joint Trade Committee, in order to forge closer cooperation on these issues. The two sides reaffirmed their commitment to continue cooperation at multilateral fora, including the UN, OIC, and ECO, and strengthen dialogue on global and regional issues of common concerns. It was agreed to hold the next round of BPC in Tehran on mutually convenient date. With Finland, we held the sixth round of the BPC on 18th November. The Pakistan side was led by additional Foreign Secretary Ambassador Muhammad Khalid Jamali, and the Finnish side was led by Under Secretary of State for Foreign and Security Policy Oti Holopianian. The two sides discussed the entire spectrum of bilateral relations, including cooperation in trade, investment, education, science and technology, and climate change, and held a detailed exchange of views on global and regional issues of mutual concern. Appreciating the positive momentum in bilateral ties and reaffirming Pakistan's commitment to further strengthen cooperation with Finland, the additional Secretary of Europe thanked the Finnish side for its support to Pakistan's GSP Plus status and invited Finnish companies to participate in the upcoming Pak-EU Business Forum scheduled in April 2026. It was further agreed to hold the next round of consultations in Finland next year. The third round with Thailand, Pakistan held the third round of Pakistan-Thailand bilateral political consultations on 18th November. The Pakistan side was led by Additional Foreign Secretary for Asia Pacific, Ambassador Imran Ahmed Siddiqui, while the Thai side was led by Sirlai Neom, the Deputy Permanent Secretary for Foreign Affairs at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Thailand. The two sides renewed Pakistan-Thailand bilateral ties and reaffirmed the commitment to further enhance cooperation inter alia in the areas of trade and investment, development, education, people-to-people exchanges, and upgrade the enduring partnerships. Both sides agreed to maintain the momentum for high-level exchanges, and the next round of the BPC would be convened in Bangkok. Ladies and gentlemen, this week we expressed our concern, our dismay at the continued violation in the occupied West Bank and Al-Aqsa Mosque by Israel. We strongly condemn these continuing violations by the Israeli occupying forces and extremist settlers against the Palestinian people, including repeated storming of the courtyard of Al-Aqsa Mosque and provocation against worshippers. Such action constitute a blatant violation of the international law and the relevant UN resolution. It is imperative that the sanctity of the holy sites must be ensured in accordance with the international law and the historical status quo. Pakistan calls upon the international community to take urgent and effective measures to ensure protection of holy sites, prevent settlers' violence and incursions, and uphold relevant UN resolution. We reiterate our principal position in the support of a just, comprehensive, and lasting peace based on two-state solution leading to the establishment of an independent, sovereign, viable, and contiguous state of Palestine based on pre-67 borders with Al-Quds al-Sharif as its capital. Ladies and gentlemen, there was a series of arrests following the Red Fort bombing in the Indian capital, New Delhi, and as a result, there were series of arrests in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir. Pakistan remained gravely concerned about the persistent and serious human rights situation in the Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir. The prevailing policies marked by widespread detentions, arbitrary arrest, and extensive restrictions on fundamental freedoms contribute to collective punishment of the occupied Kashmiri population. Reports of profiling of Kashmiri youth on the basis of their identity and further heighten these concerns. India continues its efforts after the demographic character to alter the demographic character in the occupied territory and to erode the religious, cultural uh, heritage of the Kashmiri people. These measures appear to form part of a deliberate strategy to suppress the legitimate aspirations of the Kashmiri people. Thousands of Kashmiri youth remain missing, while many genuine political representatives of the Kashmiri people remain in arbitrary detention. Such coercive actions cannot cannot undermine the Kashmiri people's enduring commitment to realizing their internationally recognized right to self-determination. Pakistan calls upon the international community, including the United Nations, the Human Rights Council, and the Office of the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, to take full cognizance of grave human rights violation in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir. We urge these bodies to encourage India to take immediate remedial measures, ensure accountability for documented violation, allow credible human rights organization to conduct independent and impartial assessments of the Indian actions. A just, peaceful, and lasting resolution of the Jammu and Kashmir dispute in accordance with the relevant UN Security Council resolutions and the aspirations of Kashmiri people remains essential for durable peace and stability in South Asia. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, in the course of the week, a few days ago, we were asked to our comment on the situation in Bangladesh in the aftermath of a sentence awarded to the former prime minister. This is Pakistan believes that this is an internal matter of Bangladesh. The people of Bangladesh are fully capable of addressing their issues in accordance with their own democratic and constitutional processes. I thank you all.